Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Hope you're doing well. Going to be doing some conversation around Splinterlands. Going to be giving away a plot of land today. Hanging out with Jim the Captain Morgan here. Jim, how you doing, buddy?
Hello there. I'm not feeling much like a captain anymore.
No? How come?
Seems like the ship's going down.
What an awesome way to start the life.
And by ship, I mean my guild. All right, my guild's going down. I've lost like 4 people, 3 people,
Oh no.
good people.
Yeah.
And I did not want to. It's kind of affecting me. So
Yeah, we need to equip those. We need to find you some new replacements then was what we need to do.
it's gonna be difficult,
Yeah.
especially when you meet one of them at Splinterfest. It's gonna be difficult.
What do you mean when you meet you mean I got you like somebody from Splinterfest, a friend that you had built there, and then
One
they
of the
move
guild
on.
members I met there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Dehoda or
The Jetto.
the Jetto?
But
Yeah.
yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Dehoda and the Jetto are like spelled very similar.
Yes. Yes. They were both there, weren't they? Am I mistaken about
Yeah. Yeah. But Dehoda wasn't in my guild though. It was just the dude I met.
that? Well, we need to get Dehoda in your guild then. How's life? How's work? What's new?
Man, life stuff's going pretty well, to be honest with you. Work's going extremely good. Um, talking to some new people in life. Who knows where things go? And yeah, life is on the up and up. I'm excited to see where this road takes me. And yeah.
That's a good way. Like that's a optimistic statement. That's really cool. Glad to hear it, bud.
Thank you. Yep. How about yourself? What's been going on other than your 4K 4 hours every day or something?
Yep. That's like a week away. I'm gonna do that on the 5th and 6th. So if people are watching and they don't know what Jim's talking about, I'm running it's called the 4x4x48. It's a race where you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 2 full days, meaning you get up in the middle of the night and you go for runs every 4 hours. It's if you're a Canadian or you use the metric system, that's 6.5 kilometers every 4 hours. And it's a long run. I mean, it's a 40-minute run, and you do that every 4 hours. But picture wake up, shake off the cobwebs and the dust out of your eyes, and then get dressed, go for your run. By the time you get home, get showered, you're an hour and a half in. Maybe you need to grab a bite. You get a 2-hour nap, and then you wake up and do it again. And that's going to be my life for 2 days. But that's on the 5th and the 6th, and it's to raise money for Ally Global, which is a Ally is a nonprofit entity that raises money and funds houses around Southeast Asia primarily. We're talking like Cambodia, Laos, and I forget the third one, but like Southeast Asia, giving an opportunity for people who are being rescued out of human trafficking to then have a home, be rehabilitated, redeemed, like give some new opportunity, trained with skills. And so, yeah, it's a serious deal to me. And so I'm trying to raise money and participate in this. I chose this crazy race because it felt so dramatic. Like it's not like, hey, I'm going to go for a marathon. It's like almost literally 2 marathons in 2 days. Plus there's the sleeplessness. So I just tried to do the craziest thing that I could to try and draw the most attention to raise the most funds. But yeah, it's been fun, man. Somebody said today I'm looking darker. I don't know if you think so, Jim, but I feel like I am a little bit more brown than usual because the sun's been getting me.
Yeah, a little bit more tan. And by a little bit, I mean, yeah, a lot. A lot of bit. Uh-oh. Your camera's following your face. Hopefully you're all right.
Sorry, guys. Coughing down some water.
That moment you tried to hide off camera, the camera's like, no, we got to catch this.
That's right, eh?
We gotta catch this.
The gimbal's like, wait a second, follow the man, follow the coughing. So let's say hi to whoever's out there. We got, let's see. I'm not sure how to say that name. Kraz cool, I'm gonna say. Krasrock is maybe the best way for me to pronounce that. And what does he got to say here? Cool. Never catch a live stream by 12. This is going to be fun. Absolutely, my dude. I certainly hope so. We will. There's lots of cool things I want to talk about today. I actually want to talk about a couple of proposals. I saw that video from Bulldog, which is exciting to me, man. And I don't know if you know about this, Jim, but just very, very quickly, we'll circle back and we'll tackle this topic after we check out some comments here. And
pull it up.
There was a Bulldog proposal, and it looks like it's going to pass. And we're going to spend, it would mean we spend DAO money to buy DEC. I think this is exciting. And then there's the other one from Matt, Yaba Matt, who proposed that we change, or that we, I guess, that we determine, or we clearly state how you spend DEC on a card, a soulbound card or a gladiator card, in order to make it farmable on land, which is, I think, deeply important. People have assumed this is happening. It's almost been, I think it's been stated that we would have this step, but now it's being articulated how it'll work. So I want to talk about those things, as probably as well as some other cool topics today. Shopping channel, some lucky guy or gal is going to win some land. Yeah. Got a plot of land we're going to give away today. That's right. Jim and I, I'm sure we'll just talk about whatever's going on too. And if you guys have your questions or comments, like, please feel free to raise them. Luke, good to see you. Luke Nowak, alum.
Let's be honest though. We're not going to really be doing a giveaway. He's more of just going to be sending it to me because I'm going to win it.
Certainly possible. Knowing your gold foil luck, it's certainly possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's 250 names that were chosen. Not chosen. These are 250 names that came up from either supporting the channel in one of like a few ways. One, financially through monthly submission of just being a part of the YouTube membership, meaning you pay a certain amount every month to support me and help me, continue to be driving new content to the channel daily. Or people who give off one-time donations, super chats, etc., super stickers, etc. They have found their way on here as well. And then lastly, people who gave great ideas that turned into YouTube videos, because of course that's a help to the channel too. So there is definitely some repeats because people supported more than once or had more than one great idea. And they came out shuffled, but then I go ahead and sort them, and it's funny to see. I don't know. I think maybe 8 might be the biggest. Bobby, I saw looking for 7 with Bobby. Butters has 6. I don't know who's out there today. If any of you guys are present, I think Jim had 6. Mm-hmm. I saw 8 for somebody. It looks like Eli might have 8 for 7. No, and then there's an Eli the Wise is the same as Eli Ross. So I probably at times wrote down like a YouTube name or an in-game name. I believe Eli Ross is Eli the Wise. Gathering the Magic.
Get rid of half of those.
Yeah, get rid of half of those. So yeah, this was fun. It was fun to create. I'm going to try and do something again like this moving forward. I don't know if a plot of land is going to be the path, but it might be. I might, you know what? Land isn't yet launched. I think at least the next iteration of what I do to say thank you in this way should be, I think, a plot of land, because we're still reaching and deferring 1.5. And when we get there, there's still excitement. Like, I think there's a dwindling excitement. There's almost like a calm, or like there's like maybe, how do I want to say that? It's as if we are kind of getting frustrated with how long it's taking. And I think people are now kind of almost ignoring, yes, we know it's 1.5 is coming, but I think if you just look at plots of land, they are not priced at levels that make it seem like there's deep excitement. They're priced at a level where you feel, you might say, people aren't taking it seriously. Mm-hmm. And yet 1.5 is going to be here soon. And that's going to be interesting to watch with those. Because remember, once you start farming land, that'll change the dynamics of who receive what reward for land ownership. It's no longer just about ownership of land. It's about how that land is being used and to what effectiveness and how many plots are activated, because that's going to impact the resources that are paid to those participants. And then what does that mean for the, because I suspect a portion of the land will be activated and definitely not all of it. And I'm kind of thinking 25 to maybe 50% of the land. And I don't think 50%. I truly think 25 to 33% of the land is going to be activated in a meaningful way. And then, so what does that mean for those who are taking it seriously? I actually think it might mean bigger rewards than you'd expect. And then again, with SPS being 1.6 cents or whatever, I don't truly believe it's worth that. I believe it's worth more, but that's the current price. And so if you wrap that together, I think land is kind of being slept on. I think in the near future, maybe that's a year, maybe that's 2 years. That's relatively near future for me. I think people are going to be laughing at the fact that some of these plots are $30. They're going to be laughing at the fact that SPS is 1.6 cents. They're going to be so astonished and frustrated by the fact that they didn't accrue more SPS through things such as this, because you can stake SPS or claim SPS through some of the plots of land, and some of them even more so with those. If I recall correctly, is it the magical? I think the magical ones. No, it's not the magical. I think it's the ones that are occupied that produce double SPS. I might be wrong about that, but
occupied is double SPS. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at these ones though. This is interesting. Occupied land plots starting around $300. And is that a common? Yeah, common, and it has none of the abilities. Huh, interesting. So people are valuing, but these are super rare too. It's not just that people are valuing these at a high level. It's also that there's an extraordinarily low number of these plots. They were the ones that were the least, as far as I remember. I mean, of course, castles are more rare, but these are exceedingly rare.
How much are keeps going for nowadays?
I'll check in a second here. Dropping channel, not like the new items page. Not liking the new items page. I agree. I was over here the other day. I just don't like the interface with Splinterlands, to be honest. And that's almost to be expected a little bit. It feels like they're trying to unify this with the land, because the land screen looks similar. If you go over to land, you've got this sidebar with these filters and these drop downs. Yeah, I mean, Splinterlands, I've said this before about Splinterlands, the website is a game first, and the tools and the structure and the UI around how that game is engaged with, from the perspective of card collection, handling, trading, buying, selling, that is almost better left to third parties who literally, like, through their own innovation, through their own thirst for profit, because they, like, a company like Peak Monsters is trying to make money. So Peak Monsters comes along and they're like, how can we clarify what people truly need to see, what a buyer needs to see, or a renter. And so I find that third party solutions end up being the best for something like this, for card management, for compiling cards, or coming through, and everything is onerous on Splinterlands. All the card management is onerous on the Splinterlands website. Meta Furico, hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. We certainly are. Butters, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, and Butters, I don't know if you're here, but I saw that you have I think 6 or 7 of these raffle tickets. So in a little bit, when we give away a plot of land, you have a pretty decent opportunity. Like 6 or 7 out of 250 is not bad. Tails is here. Good to see you, buddy. Tails, we got to do something soon, man. This is an interesting time. Like, there's been June we had all these things that were set out that were supposed to come, that were supposed to be released, and then we ended up not getting it. And it would be neat to hear your opinion on some of that. Like, is there disappointment in it? Is it, it is what it is, kind of resigned and accepting it? Or I'd love to almost kick that around with you a little bit. And Eli, good to see you, bud. Yeah, Jim, thanks for coming out today. It's good it feels like, I was saying to Jim before we went live, it feels like I've been busy with real life expectations, like family stuff, dogs, our dog, there was sickness with my dog, there was sickness with my kid. We've been,
Hmm.
I'm for church this season, like this week, this last 2, 3 weeks, I've been building this thing. Um, it's like a wood structure that I'm making with my own hands, and it's actually designing too. There's a bit of like you got to think, structural stability. It's like it's 4 wood walls, and I've framed them with studs, and I'm gonna cover them, I think, with plywood. But I'm gonna go to my local Home Depot and try and check out and see what building supplies, because like I might go drywall, but the vision is to be able to draw on it like all summer long for our church, to draw prayer requests, like share things that are going on, or praise reports, things that are like we're celebrating. So it's been really demanding, and it's so much so that I haven't been able to run the way I want for that training, that Ally Move for Freedom event I mentioned. And even then I'm running also too. So it's like this crazy busy season, and I feel as though my Splinterlands, I've been doing my daily videos, but man, it's been even getting ready for this one. I got to tell you guys, like last night I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about? Oh, there are definitely some great proposals, some exciting stuff. DC kind of spiked up to almost peg. And I think it's still there. Let's have a peek right now, actually. Did you see this,
I can't
Jim?
even get tribal decks to be working for me.
Oh, look at this. Down 14%. Yesterday it was at 9.7 or something. 9.70. What about travel decks?
No, I got it to work now. We're good.
I gotta see this. Okay, so hang on a second. Maybe let's talk about this then, because this proposal over here. Where is it? Oh, that's not it. Did it go? Did it already go through? Let's see. Pass. So Rift Watcher packs and DEC just passed. Okay, interesting. And there seems to be a lot of justifications for thinking about a return to DEC. Sorry, peg for DEC. Rift Watcher packs. I don't know that this is going to be gigantic, but it is like a brick in the wall. Because if you spend 5,000 DEC now, you'll be able to buy, not right now, I don't think. It probably takes time for them to make that happen. Let's go see. But it's one more thing that pushes us towards that. Look at this, 1 day left. Oh man, so many cool things. 1 day left. I'm still in the top 200, which means I'm gonna get one of those titles. But hang on, let's stay focused. Packs, gems. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to buy a Rift Watcher pack right this second for DEC. I suspect it's only later on after they code something or whatever. But that's happening. The proposal from Bulldog talking about enabling the purchase of enabling the purchase of DEC through DAO funding, which is a big deal. Like there's millions of dollars in there. And then, did you hear about that, Jim? What he was proposing?
No, I started to pull it up on YouTube, but I didn't know exactly which one I was
Yeah.
going to be looking at.
So it looks like I'm getting
Buy DEC with stables.
buy DEC with currency in the DAO, and so so then, and there's he calculated that the funds that were in there that would be capable of being put to work to buy the DEC would be representative of 10% of the existing DEC, which is a crazy huge sum. And then it would be this constant buying pressure, because you wouldn't come out and buy it like all in one lump. You'd do some that would drive the price way to peg and then past peg and so on. So it would be this active process of just creating buying pressure on DEC. I think it seems really, really smart to me. And I meant to do a video on this because I thought it was great, but maybe this will be that video. Because you could just think, if there was added pressure on DEC that just was sustained pressure, sustained buying pressure, that over the course of, let's say, a year. Because I'm thinking, if you have millions of dollars to buy DEC and we get daily liquidity, in the thousands of dollars, right? Like, look at this. This is DC markets. We're looking at, there's the Pancake Swap, Uniswap, and another Pancake Swap. And you're talking $6,000 worth of buying pressure. And then I guess there would be some more on Hive Engine, which isn't listed here. But I'm saying it's not millions of dollars worth of DEC that is selling every day. It's literally hundreds or thousands. And so if you introduce even, let's say, $10,000 worth of buying pressure every day that comes from the DAO, that's stacking the ownership in the DAO while DEC is below peg, you're theoretically investing in something that I think we should agree, and I certainly agree, will appreciate. Because right now we're in 858 Splintoshis. I truly believe we will reach 1,000, meaning peg, and that would be a profit to the DAO, which is us as owners of that with SPS. So it seems good because it's, one, going to be continued buying pressure. It seems good because, two, it's going to represent an opportunity to see appreciation on the investment, because right now it's not generating any sizable. I think it's just sitting there, but it's going to, this would support our economy in a sense by creating demand for this thing to get it off the shelves. And ultimately it's an investment in ourselves, in our own ecosystem. I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised it's not shown here on the proposals. I thought it was. I thought I just saw it the other day, unless it went through, but I don't think it did. Unless it's in pre-proposal, but I swear I saw it in the actual proposals. I don't want to pull up Bulldog's channel right now, but if somebody has the link for the actual proposal, I'd love to see the wording.
I'm going through some cards right now because I kind of want to get back into the rental market, even though I know it's not amazing.
Yeah.
But it's still something where, consistent growth and just to sit on some stuff, because I still do have lands as well.
Yeah.
So now I just got to find out what it is I'm buying.
There's, I've been buying some things recently, cards wise. There's been some, I want to check out Tails. Tails said, have you guys seen my video from yesterday or whatever? I haven't.
No.
Go 21 hours ago. Return of the bots. A new proposal is needed. Return of the bots. I'm going to have to watch that one, and everybody watching, you guys should too. I haven't seen it, bud. I like your new thumbnails, pal. They look
pretty nice.
Yeah, they look good.
So much better than those old ones. Holy moly. Let's not even scroll down. We don't want to hurt people's eyes, Let's not scroll.
Yeah, that I don't know what you're referring to there. I'm eager to know now. And look at this, 560 views too. People are definitely. I wonder what your likes and just because of the topic of bots. Man, bots is still fiery. Did you see any of Jim? Did you see any of that 2 days ago or yesterday or something? There was a town hall, but it's not the town hall. It's like where they just hang out and chat.
No, I didn't. I haven't even been on my computer for the last couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Too busy with.
I tend to get on here one time a week, and it's Wednesday.
Too busy with real life or what?
Yeah, I just have so much more stuff happening.
Good. I'm getting all kinds of delay here. I don't know what to do about that, but anyways, that's okay. We'll just carry along and keep the conversation rolling. Let's see. Florian one up. Hey guys, why not 1 2 3 4? Good day. There's about 500k stable coins in the DAO, says Florian. So that would be, I guess, put to work is the vision, I think. It'll be good discussion. Yeah. 500k would let's see, $500,000. If, like I said, if there was even $10,000, that would go fast, wouldn't it? Geez, what is $500,000 when you divide it by 0.00085, which is the current SPS price, or sorry, DEC price? You're talking 588 million DC that could theoretically be bought at this price point. But the interesting thing is, if you tried to buy, I bet $10,000 in one day, I bet you move the market. So you'd have to probably buy like $1,000 to $5,000 on days where it's below 9,00095. That was the threshold that by which he was proposing that we I guess we stop at buying it. So I think it sounds brilliant, and I think the combination of that proposal with the Rift Watcher proposal and change, and even probably Lamb 1.5 looming, and also Matt's proposal talking about how we will burn DC to get the Gladiators and the Soulbounds to work land. All of that, to me, that's like in the last week or two, lots of different things. There it is right here. Drop down BUSD. So that's lots of different things over the last week, 2 weeks that have really been, I guess, getting closer and closer, or begun, that to me have caused DC to move up over 800 Splintoshis, because it was in the 750 range for a beat, and then yesterday it was around 950 Splintoshis.
Wow.
See, the max purchase price would be, so essentially the vision would be to buy DC and stop buying it when it gets close to peg, which is so great, because it's going to be a support for our price. It's also going to be an investment for our DAO. The proposal is two main purposes: one, help DC reach par faster, and two, increase the value of the DAO holdings. Yeah. Plus you could, I don't know if he mentioned this, but I thought while I watched his video, and you guys should too, but I thought if we do this, one thing that people might worry about with a proposal like this would be, are we going to have to sell that in the next bull market on our own heads, in a sense, driving DC price down when we want it to stay stable? Otherwise, how are we going to access that value, you might think? And that's an interesting critique. And I started asking that question to myself while I was listening to his video. But think about this. Let's say we had, half a billion DC based on this math, based on 500,000 in stable coins that would be theoretically put to work. And you could take other things in there too. I don't see why you couldn't, if there's other, I might be wrong about this, but I think there's other resources in the DAO aside from just that. Cause we have, I think, and so maybe it ends up being more than $500,000 that gets spent. But let's say you had 580, 600 million DC. How do you get rid of those in the future without causing a problem for Splinterlands players who don't want DC price to fall later? And I think, interestingly, you have to remember that when Splinterlands buys or sells credits, they receive US dollars into their bank account, and they have to then conclude the transaction that later gets completed when you spend those credits. So you come into the market, and what do? You've got $50 worth of credits. You can come in here and you can buy these cars up to $50 worth. And then what happens? Do you pay? Does the seller receive your credits? No. The seller receives DC that comes from the pockets of Splinterlands to conclude the transaction. So now your credits are gone, and Splinterlands has spent DC that they already had. So then how do they replenish DC? Well, they could come to the DAO, especially if we had 600 million or more DC sitting in there. They could, at times when they need DC, there could be these deals between the DAO and Splinterlands to buy it. I would assume market price, there'd be some, I don't know how that would exactly work, because when Splinterlands wants to buy DC, I suspect they move the market. But you know what I mean? There could be a plan where the team comes to us first, the DAO first, to fill their coffers when they need more to deal with their credit closures or whatever. So it seems like a great idea. I sincerely hope it passes, and 6 days left until it passes. And we're up 20%, 124 million yeses. So we're beyond the votes to pass, and sizable approval rating, which is great. I didn't watch the video. Okay. Florian one says to Tails about Tails' most recent video. He says, I didn't watch the video yet because the title is so scary. Rico, good to see you, buddy. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, they have Gladiator option in the marketplace. I wonder if they'll ever become sellable. Yeah, I would imagine there will be a path to transferability. That's what we would say. Why not? You're asking, like, will Gladiators ever be transferable between accounts? And that would mean sellable or rentable. And I kind of think the team doesn't want to do that. Jim, do you, from like your past hearings of this, like, what do you think? Are they going to make Gladiators specifically sellable, rentable, transferable?
I really don't think so. They want people to have specific things or things that other people don't have because of how long you've been here, putting in that work. They don't just want to have everything, having heart of the credit card, for Yu-Gi-Oh terms. And yeah, I just don't think they're going to have every little thing in this game be sellable. And well, at least I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
They might get to a point and they'll leave it up to the people, be like, do you want to be able to buy Gladiator cards? And I'm sure most people are going to be like, yes. So, yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I feel what you're saying, you just said most people are going to want to buy Gladiator cards. I think that's true if they could. But I also think people want assets in this. What I notice from comments is that people want assets to be dirt cheap so that they can acquire them. But they also want them to be deeply valuable so that they can appreciate and they can enjoy the value of their portfolio growing. And those things are almost direct opposites. And so like a card like a Gladiator is actually, and then before I go any further, I have to say again, as I've said so many times, there's a difference between value and price. Value is what it's worth, but price is what you pay for it. With a thing like a Gladiator card, there is no price because you can't transfer it. But then there absolutely is a value because it allows you to play, to win more often. And it allows you to win more often in the context of guild brawls primarily, but that is deeply valuable because it speaks to SPS production as well as merits, which unleash more gladiators, which set you apart from your competition, which allow you to win more often. It's this cycle of SPS, getting better and better or more and more equipped to then win more and more SPS. And then with the soulbound reward cards, being the summoners, including the option to play gladiators, I would say that these gladiator cards have absolutely gotten more meaningful. And the data from splintercards.com shows us that the number of these cards that have been received even by high level accounts is actually really, really low. Like, as you can, this is my main account, and we're looking at like level 3, level 5, level 3, level 3, level 1, level 2. These are lower than the level I would need to play and not receive a penalty. That's how infrequently these things are being handed out. My point is they're super scarce. Even for accounts like mine who play at a higher level in Splinterlands, high tier 4 battles, we get more merits than probably most people would get merits. Therefore, I get more packs than others. I have bloodstones in my guild. Some guilds won't have that. So they're deeply useful. But the question is, would you want it to be? And this is kind of the question that's happening, that's unfolding with the Riftwatcher packs being sold for DEC. The question is, do you want them to be easier to acquire, which is going to mean cheaper, really, because once they're easier to acquire, there'll be more supply. More supply means lower price. But once they're easier to acquire, they will have the gladiators would then have a price. But I would argue that that price is no longer going to be as high as it could. So picture a world where you can never buy them, but you can keep earning merits. You can never buy merits, but you can keep earning them. And if you spend enough time, you will have a max level Gladiator deck. And then someday in the future, they're made transferable through DEC being burnt into them. That would be a path to the greatest price value, the greatest price for the value of Gladiator cards, because that would be the smallest supply that had to be earned through time and attention. But as a second option, and it seems like some people will want, you could change how merits are released. You could sell merits for dollars. You could sell Gladiator packs for dollars, fiat currency or DEC or for SPS, etc. And suddenly they're going to see this growth in the supply available, and ultimately a decrease in what could be the price, the ultimate price for a card like this, because it's easier to acquire. So I really, it's an interesting conversation because it's really two different directions a game like this can take. One, things are super hard to get, and when they have a price, that price will be higher. Or two, they're super easy to get, and when they are made transferable, they end up being less costly because they're more and more common than they ever could have been otherwise. I hope Gladiators will always be something you can't easily acquire, but I get the feeling the DEC burning into it to make it useful in land will also translate to some sort of transferability, rentability, sellability, I think is what I'm expecting. Good comments in here. Florian, when DEC goes up to above par value, SPS burning will start. So it will theoretically never go far above 1,000 Splintoshis ever again for longer than a few hours. I agree with that comment. That's true. If the flywheel, it is super easy to burn SPS for DEC. If you don't know, all you do is you come into the Splinterlands window and you just go convert. So if DEC is above peg, then it makes a lot of sense to come in here and burn SPS. So he's right. There should be once we're at peg, we should really stay there, unless the buying pressure for DEC is not sustainable. That got us to peg in the first place. And so that's where we need to see continuing efforts. We need to see two things. One, a diminishment of the total supply of DEC so that the shelves are not stocked with it. And two, ongoing desire for more of it, which I think we already have. We just need to see the first part, which is the removal of the old DEC off those shelves, all that DEC we accumulated through the SPS airdrop, or through the points, because people were buying it, and remember that drove price up. And then because of the algorithmic inflation of how DEC worked, the game was printing more of it per battle to try and lower the price, but everyone was holding it, not burning it. And therefore we saw this crazy appreciation in DEC and new printing of it. Guys, do me a favor, 18 concurrent viewers, 9 likes, drop that like. Let's see if we can get 25 people in today. In about 20 minutes, we'll do the raffle, and then I want to just keep going for a bit. Probably wrap up at 1 o'clock, guys. And if you guys have comments or questions, I'll continue to check in with the thing, and we'll answer them. Florian carried on from that point, and he said, so because if DEC goes, once it reaches peg, it'll stay there. It won't go above. So Florian says, so I believe the DECI in the DEC inside the DAO would rather be used to pay third-party proposals like external dev work or other costly endeavors. Yeah, it could be, but it feels like, Florian, you're saying that if we put DEC into the DAO by spending, for instance, the stable coins, that there wouldn't be an opportunity for appreciation there. But there is, because we're at 850 Splintoshis, which if we make it to peg is like what, a 15% ish increase, right? So, you know, that's not nothing. That's a pretty big, when you're talking, you know, $500,000 and a 15% increase on $500,000. That's pretty juicy. So I think that's the interesting part. Eli making a point about Eli Ross says that would devalue guilds, right? Meaning if gladiators became tradable, that would diminish the need to even be in a guild. And I think this is true. And this is part of why I would hope ultimately that they're not going to go that way. But I get the feeling that they probably will when they make it possible to burn DC into your gladiator in order to make it work land. Let's pull up. There's a proposal about that too. That's a map proposal. How do I see? Oh yeah, I go into Discord. I'm going to go into Splinterlands. And then there's a place for the DAO discussion. There's a place where you can see new proposals that are not yet full proposals. I think it's DAO discussion. No, it's not. Definitely not. Because what I'm looking for is I want to see Matt's proposal, but I don't think it's not currently up. Oh, but I had it here. No, I don't. Did I have it here? Yes. No, that's not it either. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is so from 2 days ago, Matt posted this. I'd put forth a proposal for the community of staked SPS holders to require DC or DCB to be burned in order to allow soulbound cards to be used as workers on land in the Secret of Pretoria expansion. This would apply to both soulbound rewards and to gladiator cards, as well as any new soulbound cards released in the future. So the cost to manifest a card to allow it to work on land is proposed to be 2 times the collection power of the card, not counting the max level CP bonus. Interesting. Okay, that's good. The 2 times the collection power. Okay. The proposed cost to manifest 1 BCX and max level cards of each rarity and foil are shown in the table below for easy reference. So we're talking at the higher levels. Look at this, like a legendary gold foil, max copy. You're talking 100,000 DEC burnt. See, all the DEC syncs that are already in existence and that are being planned, such as this, are so massive that if we truly use land properly and fully, all the DC is gone. Then if you add to it turning these, gladiators and soulbounds into transferable cards that can work land. Well, it didn't say transferable. It said that they could work land. You absolutely, we just will have so much deletion of DC supply. The land staking is not exactly a deletion of DC, but still, once you stake it into the land so that your monsters can farm that land, it's no longer liquid, meaning it no longer is sellable, and therefore it has less of an impact on the market price of DC. So there just is so many great things that are already pointing towards DC returning to par. This does not mean that the cards will become unsoulbound or transferable. There we go. That's an important sentence. So they will not be transferable. This cost will only allow the cards to be used as workers on land. However, it will be applied to the cost to make sure the cards are unsoulbound and transferable in the future when that option is available. Okay. So I'm going to read that second part again. It will be applied to the cost to make the cards unsoulbound and transferable. That tells me that eventually they have a vision to make soulbounds entirely transferable and even gladiators. Don't you think, Jim, when you read that sentence?
It does. They do make it seem like that. Unsoulboundable and transferable. Yeah.
Because it's saying, look, you're going to put DEC into these cards, then they can farm the land.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean that they're going to immediately be transferable. However, where is it? However, the value you put in today to make them farm the land will be applied to the cost to make them cards unsoulbound and transferable in the future when that option is available. When, not if. So it's like you want these cards to farm your land, you got to spend DEC. Eventually, we expect that these cards will be transferable. It'll be possible for you to do that. That'll have a certain cost. We don't know how much it is. This value that we've talked about here that makes them farm land will be part of that picture. is what I'm hearing.
Mm.
Does that sound your interpretation too?
Uh, they do kind of make it seem like this. Or I can see how you're thinking it.
Yeah.
Um,
See,
but
let's read a little
yeah,
bit more here. For example, if in the future cards cost 2 times collection power or less to make them transferable, okay, then any cards for which this amount has been paid to manifest them onto land will automatically become transferable. Okay, so it's like he's saying we don't really know yet what's going to happen in terms of transferability, but we think they're probably going to be transferable, and we're aware that that might be a thing, and that'll have a cost, and maybe that cost will be more than what we're talking about here or less. We don't even know that, but um but if this cost to make them farm the land is sufficient or big enough, then they'll just be made transferable right away at that point in the future. But it's not on the map. It's not stated clearly what the cost would be. It's just like this could happen, and I think that probably means they do end up being made transferable gladiators. And I think that means Eli's right that this diminishes, in some sense, diminishes what the. Okay, hang on a second. Let's take this topic and let's talk about Eli's comment a little bit closer, because he said if the gladiators are made transferable, that would devalue guilds. And on one hand, I want to say yes, because you could just go out and buy these important cards that are becoming even more important because of the soulbound summoners that allow you to play them. But so on one hand, he's right. But on the other hand, maybe he's wrong, because being in a guild is getting you merits, which is getting you packs, which is getting you glads. And what are those? If they're made transferable, they're literally money in your pocket now. As opposed to currently, you could argue, as I argued a minute ago, gladiators are worth something even if they don't have a price. But many people would disagree with me, and they say, no, if it doesn't have a price, it doesn't have a value. And so if they're transferable, if we're reading here that there's a path to make gladiators transferable, doesn't that mean, maybe Jim, I'll ask you, do you think that's adding to your portfolio, right? Like your account has 1,000 of these, 500 of these cards. If they suddenly have a price, then that's good for us, I guess.
yeah. I mean, to say that it just devalues it, I can kind of see it, but it also makes it to where, these cards that you've been earning, especially if there's ones you don't want to utilize, you can just get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with pulling cards from any other pack.
Mm-hmm.
Cards you don't want, get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or if a card is extremely valuable, now it's time to figure out, do you want that money to increase your collection? Do you want that money to take it out? Do you want to reinvest it into something else completely? It definitely devalues it in terms of you don't have to be in a guild for very long in order to get these cards, but it also makes guilds more valuable because other than getting merits from playing ranked, you're getting a large chunk of merits from being inside of these guild brawls as well.
Yeah.
So you could instantly be earning more than twice as many packs from the guilds.
Yeah.
Because of it.
And if those packs are cards that are tradable, then that's money in your pocket. So right now, guilds are exciting to people who don't really care, who like the SPS and who are interested in getting gladiators. But now if you said, and you get all that, you still get your gladiator cards, you still get SPS. But now also, by the way, we're making a way where your gladiators are potentially going to put money in your pocket. I think you might argue that it doesn't devalue guilds, that it actually draws more participants to guilds because, hey, that's actually another transferable thing, another way that I can gain from my time and attention in the game.
Yep.
And Krozrak again, I can't remember. He goes, Matt did indicate in a town hall that they would at least consider to make Gladius cards transferable eventually, but that was like a year ago. might happen when the current ones go out of print and a new edition gets released. Dude, I have almost none of these Gladiator cards. It's astonishing how few, and I've been playing at a high level in Splinterlands for a while. It's to me, for them to think through that they would retire these Gladiators is like, it would be the first time in this game where I've had no chance to get the thing that is in front of me. Like, let me show you. Let me go to Splinter Cards. And then we go to tools, I think. Soulbound card monitor. Then we go Infidel. And we go Gladius. So after all the time that these Gladius cards have existed, like I'm at 18% of my commons. 18. 22% of my rares. 17% of my epics. 25% of my legendaries. If anybody from Splinter Cards is listening, I would love to be able to do this with not just rewards and Gladius, but like every set. Because I know I can go, I don't think I can do that. I don't think Pink Monsters does that. Peak Jarvie, if you're listening, like what if when I click on my cards and I go over to Alpha, it said up here, like total value, but it said like, you know, I have 17% commons of the Alphas, etc. That'd be really neat to see, because I keep coming back to the Splinter Cards and seeing this because it's interesting to me, and especially with the rewards. When you compare the Gladius to the rewards, you're like, wow. Not loading, but my rewards are far more complete. 64, 52, 37, 39. So 60 to 40% of my rewards are done, but like less than 25% of my Gladius are done. So if they change it now and they get a whole new list of Gladiators, which I'd love to see. I would love that. But man, some of these cards I never, like I want a max level Crash bad. That card's awesome. So that I would be both frustrated and excited if they did that. Look at this card. It's crazy. 400 BCX of this thing, and you get Swiftness with 8 speed, Bloodlust, which seems irrelevant, but it's not, because you get Thorns and you get Return Fire, and you could conceivably put, what else could you do there? You could play this. You could use a Weapons Trainer to give this an attack of some nature. Can you imagine how out of control this thing would be for 8 speed?
Yep.
9 speed with Swiftness, and then bring any other speed. Bring a Blind on your team. Bring another Swiftness or a Slow on your team. Or give it one attack and suddenly it's getting some kills, and then the Bloodlust is proccing to give you more speed. It's other than magic, it's like it just is. You just don't hit this thing.
And for 4 mana, dude, like it's nuts.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
So I like these cards a lot. I want more of them, and yet I would be pumped if they moved away and gave us a new set of them. I guess I want, like everybody else, I want all of the cards available to me, and I want all the cards that are coming. And somehow I want them to be super affordable and yet deeply valuable, which is, you know, that's the problem.
Sounds like you're hoping for a unicorn.
That's right. Let's read a couple more comments.
Exist.
Oh, what's that, Jim?
I said, and those don't exist.
Let's read a few more comments, and then in about 5 minutes we'll raffle off a plot of land to somebody. Hopefully they end up being here today. That'd be really cool. Mm-hmm. If the person who receives the plot of land is somebody that I know, you know, super well, like it's one of the people that supports my channel, then what I'm gonna do is I'd love it if they're here. I'm gonna send it right now. If it's one of the people that's on my that I know super well, and they're like support the YouTube channel, I think what I want to do is I want to Discord chat with them, because I want to know I want to see which plot they would even prefer, if there's one or another, because I'm giving away a common plot, but maybe there's different areas that would be preferable, and you know, they're pretty much all the same to me. But if it's one of the people that I don't know so well, I then need to get their actual in-game name before I could send it anyways. So there may end up not being like a final send in this video. We will see. But whoever we draw, the one draw will go to that person, and I will make sure that they receive that plot of land. And I'll probably separate, like, I will record that just because, you know, people will want to see like, hey, you know, Dwayne sent it or whatever. Let's read a couple more comments. Might happen when the Monsieur Caruso, cheap to buy and valuable at the moment I bought it. Sounds totally doable to me. I wonder if you're referring to cheap to buy and valuable at the moment I bought it. Sounds totally doable to me. I think it's kind of like just a funny comment because it's like you want it to be super cheap and yet deeply valuable. Yeah. Luke, has anyone noticed there is a Gladius card section in the market, meaning they will be tradable at one point? I think that's, yeah, somebody pointed that out earlier. If you convert SPS to DC, says Luke, through that window, you lose value rather than the Hive engine market. Luke, you're right. But that's only because DC is below peg. So just quickly, if you come in here and you go to convert, and let's say you burn, let's say, okay, what's okay, so what's SPS price? Buck, 1.6 pennies. Yeah, exactly, 1.6 cents. So let's go 100 divided by 0.0. So if I took 6,200 SPS, that's worth $100 right now. And if I went into here, 6,250. So I should theoretically, this is $100 worth of SPS. I should get exactly 100,000, but I'm not. And that's that. You're right. There's a loss happening because the market price of DC is lower than it should be. But when DC is at peg, the payout is going to be equal. That's how that would work. And if DC went above peg, for a short period of time, you could see people sell their SPS to create or to burn the SPS to generate DC, so that they could then go to the marketplace like you're describing and sell it for a profit. That's the crazy thing. That's the opportunity available. You could create DC by burning SPS and then sell it to take advantage of it if the price goes above peg. That's why the flywheel can work, and that's why that earlier comment said DC, once it's at peg, will stay at peg. Because if it pops above, people will do what I just said, create DC and sell into that buying pressure. Tails goes, a sync only works if it's actually used, e.g. vouchers with pack purchases that aren't purchased, or DC for power stones that aren't sold or players don't have access to. Yeah, you're right. When we talk about Tales from the Cryptmancer is referring to, he says a sync only works if it's used, meaning syncs for DC, syncs for SPS, for vouchers to reach higher prices. The syncs that we create that theoretically remove DC from circulation are only as effective as our intrigue or interest in those offers. So for instance, when we talk about you can buy Riftwatcher packs, it doesn't, with DC, it doesn't matter if nobody wants Riftwatcher packs. Can I do it right now? I want to see.
You know what they should just do? They should just end the 5-year SPS, stop it tomorrow, and then, you know, whatever happens with SPS happens.
Whatever happens, happens. That would be such a massive, massive change to how SPS works.
Yeah, I know.
That
also, wasn't there a proposal for that?
Was there? I don't know. That would be, so
oh no, that's different.
If you did something like that, what would that do? If you ended SPS creation like 4 or 5 years early, you'd have radical, like, people who track charts and who look at fundamental considerations and who believe in Splinterlands would I think necessarily buy more, because they if you already believe in the game and you already believe in the fundamentals, but then there's even fewer of these tokens coming into creation. Unless you thought that was going to break the game, you'd have to see that as a bullish thing for SPS. It's not really feasible, because how would you pay? What would the rank reward be, etc. But
Yeah, maybe I'm just crazy.
Yeah, I think you are definitely crazy.
What?
My wife always says this thing. She goes, I wonder if I can remember it. Crazy. I'm not crazy. Crazy. I was crazy once. And it's like this like monologue. Oh, I wish I could do it. I'm gonna see if I can find it quickly.
I was crazy once.
I don't want to click on that because it's gonna be some sort of. Oh, here we go. The lyrics.
Grass makes me crazy.
Crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me into a room. I jumped out the window and landed on the grass. Grass makes me crazy. Crazy. I was crazy once. This is like a reference to there's like other lines in it, I think. My wife, like, she must have heard this song before or something. She says this whenever anybody says that word, crazy. So that got me thinking. Man, what's going on over here? This is the second time I've tried to see Splinterlands or see if Ripwatcher packs are sellable for DC, and it's like, no, you don't need to know that.
Huh. All right, I'll see what I got.
Kevin Winsboro left a comment saying, we need vouchers to be more part of these syncs. It should be
It loaded for me.
Vouchers.
Also, it's not for DEC yet.
Okay, thank you. I've heard people talk about vouchers and being concerned about the price point of vouchers.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm okay with them not having. I heard somebody in the other day town hall, but it's not a town hall, like a conversation between all the viewers of the town hall, whatever you want to call that.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody asked the question, like, are we worried about vouchers and how many are printed? I think it's 40,000 a day. And to me, I'm like, I don't know. I don't even think about vouchers. I'm far too fixated on DC and SPS. And vouchers are just, yes, they're bleeding out. But I want them to long-term have sort of a justification or whatever. But I feel as though DEC is you gotta sort that out. It's not about first and foremost vouchers. It's about DEC being at PEG. And I think the rest falls into place. I think. Any thoughts on that, Jim?
There's one thing that always jumps to my mind every now and again about this game, and for games in general, right, that are being released nowadays, there tends to be a lot of bugs in them. They're kind of glitchy sometimes. They aren't being run fully optimized. But a year after, the quote unquote official release, stuff tends to get a lot better. And how I'm kind of seeing Splinterlands, especially now, it's like we have so many things that are missing in this game that they're working on. So it's kind of like, this is kind of that year to where they really are getting the game together, even though the game was there, but it was missing a lot of the key features that they wanted to be having inside of the game. So I think it's definitely a rough year. And but that's kind of where my brain goes to for looking at this game in terms of other ones and, like, quote unquote beta testing or official releases and having to wait a little bit. Sure, it's rough because we just want it to be all done, but it can't be all done instantly.
Yeah. You know what? We will do the giveaway in a minute here, but guys, thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out. And I just want to add a little to what you just said. I think I felt I think I'm feeling a bit of like frustration this last couple of weeks with Splinterlands because the delays in like June, we said for so long like June was going to be massive. Tower defense, land 1.5, and I think there was and goals, the soccer, and none of it yet. So I mean, that's
Well, we still
been,
got 2 days.
yeah, we still got 2 days. I think it's been pretty clear that it's not happening though. I think they're saying like mid to late July now is what I think they said that in the last. Again, it's not called a town hall. There's the town hall every 2 weeks, and now they're doing a like a community conversation or something. I don't know what to call it, but it
Kinda
was
like,
pretty cool. There was one this week, and it was you guys should check it out if you haven't already.
was it just like a Q&A thing?
Yeah, it's similar to the old town halls, but now they're doing town halls every 2 weeks. And that's the town hall is still exactly like you remember, like where the team
Yeah.
comes on and talks about things, and then they answer some FAQ at the end. But then every other week they're doing this other thing where yes, this
Town
week
Square.
town square. That's right, town square. And what that means is Aggie, Weird Beard. I forget who else was there. A couple of the team are
Barb.
there, and then they started the conversation not with like, hey, this is what's happening. It's more like, hey, today we're gonna let you guys speak to whoever has questions or like we are kind of doing right now, Jim, where it's like if the audience leaves a comment or whatever, we'll answer it. But also, if you're there, Jim, you could just like raise your hand and they'll invite you to speak, and you can literally speak on the recording. And it was cool. I actually got interrupted. I didn't get to finish it, but it was really cool. A wide range of topics were popping up. Vouchers was one of them. June not working out was one of them. But yeah, I think just to circle back, like I've been feeling a little frustration lately. I know those things are going to happen. I do. I believe that we're going to see goals. I believe we're going to see tower defense. I believe we're going to see land 1.5. But man, I don't want them like soon. I want them yesterday. And I know maybe I'm being unreasonable, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I just see these prices of things dropping and dropping and dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And I see my SPS. The flat amount is increasing, which I love to see. And I'm still bullish on it.
Yeah.
But, seeing it floating around $3,000 is rough.
Yeah. SPS is interesting because, this is such a small price, 1.6 cents. It's such a low price. But at the same time, there's no reason it can't go lower. I mean, I don't want it to go lower, but I will be a buyer if it goes lower. I think previously the lowest of the low is 1.4 cents, if I recall correctly. I don't know if I'll find that, but I believe there's a 1.4 in there somewhere. Anyways, hang on. Does it say it here? Let's see.
All-time low.
Where is it?
I was just wondering. Well, it's showing all percentages. Are you able to convert that to be numbers, flat amounts?
It has an all-time high. It doesn't.
All-time
It should
high.
have like an all-time low right there.
Yeah.
No, not to my knowledge. I don't think so. That's okay. I mean, I think I do recall it was at some point in here, and you'd have to be right. I'd have to land the cursor right on the exact spot.
Set it up to be year to date.
Let's go year to date. So this is definitely the lowest over at 1.6, and then we go 12 months. Looks like no. I mean, maybe this is maybe the new. Maybe this is it. The new.
We're at the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check last 30 or 90 days.
90, 30.
Oh man.
Yeah, all.
There's a really low marker right there.
Yeah, I still think it looks like from the look of this that either in between January and March of 2023 was like a really low window, or right now. And I think right now is like probably, if not new floor, like a new. My point is, when stuff like this is happening, until you start seeing a true upward growth, there's no real. You can't. We're guessing. People say you're catching a falling knife when you buy tokens that haven't yet bottomed, that haven't yet begun climbing out. As far as I'm concerned, a token like this, if you're in it for the long term, is I'm fine with holding that and enjoy and like riding that volatility. But yeah, it's a tough bull to ride. Mm, okay, let's go have a see. What do we got here? 22 viewers, 16 likes, guys. Do me a favor, drop a like, and let's give away a plot of land here. Once again, before I do that, though, I just want to say thank you guys for the 250 different. It's not 250 people. It's 250. I guess participants. Let's say people who have supported this channel in one way or another, financially or with great ideas that turn into content. A lot of these names are
50 raffle tickets.
Yeah, a lot of familiar names here. Aaron Kennedy, Artificial Feel, Iraq. Iraq had only got one, eh? Big Dogs in there, Black Coffee, Blaze Coast, Bobby, Brandon H. Brandon H, that's Vetvi. Brow Baby, Butters, Chase, Chuny's in there. I think Chuny's here, and then he's also at the bottom, maybe by accident. Or no, maybe I spelled his name different in some other way. Kolsker's in there with 5 or 6 of them. Cool. Cryptozard and the Becks. I missed Kaman there. Kaman had a video idea that I enjoyed getting into. Crypto Beaver, Kulfi, DeFizz, Days, Damien, Dan, Darkstar got one. David Prendergast. Prendergast has been here since like I started this channel. Dom, Dustuff. Hey, Dustuff, cool. Eli Ross, Alistios, I Horus, like often salty but always thoughtful. I Horus. Gabe got in there. Gatherings got quite a few. Geeked Out Basketball's in there. This is Geeked Out Basketball is Jamie. Jamie created the splintercoach.com. Guys, check it out. $5 a month. Track your Splinterlands data and find ways to win more often and get more reward for your time and attention. Gold Matters got one. Nice. Oh yeah, because I followed one of his tweets. I made a video on one of his tweets. Larry McNary, Henning's in there. Hewitt, Ivan, Jim, the captain himself, King, Arminius, Klaus, Clemens, Last Hope, Lil Jammy, Louis Sisa, Macy, Mario, Matt Denzi, Matthew Gerard, Matt Monarch, Mike, Mitch, Morgan, Mura, Nathan, Necro. Oh, I got to meet Necro this week, guys. Necro is like a co-leader of Time and Attention and helps me in so many ways on Time and Attention's guild stuff. And he came from his far off land. I don't know if he wants me to say where he's from, but he's traveling and he came into Canada and we sat down. We had I invited him over. We had dinner at my place, backyard barbecue. The kids played. It was a great time. Necker, if you're hearing this, buddy, I really enjoyed chatting with you. I look forward to being able to do that again. Nikos, Now Done, Oscu, Paul Taylor, Hugh Splosions, Play to Earn Gaming, RC, Richard, Rick on the Mountain. I was watching Rick's channel earlier today. Robert Verhagen, SE, Saucy J, Sueles, Supreme Victory Network, Tales from the Crypt. There he is. And see, I have some for the Chuny and I have some for just Chuny. And then last but not least, Savet Tomir and Yellow 6100. So that's all of you guys, and some of you have multiple entries. And I'll do this again. I'll do this again because this was a great way to, like, I just thank you guys for helping make this possible, for, helping encourage me to keep doing content like this. It means a lot to me personally, but also just it keeps me wanting to stay engaged, right? It's like there's a community who actually enjoys this, who wants to talk Splinterlands for 2 hours on a Wednesday morning. It's awesome. And Jim making time, always hanging out. You know what? Thanks, buddy.
Man. I'm glad I'm able to be here because usually I'm working till about noon my time.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I just get home and I just go straight to sleep.
Yeah.
But Wednesdays I'm off, so this works great.
Love it. I want to quickly go look at my plots before we do it. And like I said, I'm open to giving away like one of my common plots. I think I originally said it would be like my 48. 48 is Tridale. Tridale is where a lot of walking keys and some of his community are. So I would strongly recommend, I think I'm going to recommend that it be one of the Tridale locations. I have 6 in track 10. I'm open to it being any of the commons, really. Common non-magicals. Let's see. Let's go list. These are mine. I have a mountain, a forest, and a mountain. Oh, this one's magical, so it won't be that one. I love the magical. I love how they did this with the like little waves, and then with the occupieds, there's creatures on it.
Mm-hmm.
But so I've got a natural forest and a natural mountain, and another natural mountain. So I'm gonna say one of those makes the most sense, forest or net mountain, because then it's gonna be surrounded by people who are taking this game seriously, and that's what you're gonna want with land. You're gonna want to be in a region that's active, that has people who actually love this game, who are attending to their land, because that's going to help you actually, there's this cooperative element to this that is going to be important. So I'm going to strongly recommend that be it, but we'll see. Oh, Kevin, appreciate you, bro. Thanks a lot, pal. And Kevin, if you don't already know this, I do weekly live content for the members only, and there's like a whole library of it on the channel. You can go into members only section. There's videos I sometimes do that are just for you guys that never get posted. There's also like 2-hour lives that sometimes get clipped, but the fullness of them is not usually replicated for the public. So feel free to check that stuff out. Okay, let's do it. So probably I think one of those makes sense. And again, if you're here, I'm going to want to make sure that that's the name, if you know what I mean. Like that's going to be important to me. It's almost certain I'm not sending this right now, but I'm going to award it right now. And this winner will be the winner. Whoever we roll here will be it. This will be a 1 spin, and this will be for the land. But again, unless it's Jim or Black Coffee or somebody, Blaze, like guys that I actually know you and I know your IGN, which is a few of these guys I do. But if I don't know your IGN, I'm not going to send it here on the video live because I don't want to send it to the wrong one or whatever. Okay, let's do it.
It's time. This is going to take a while.
Just one big win. And I think it'll just take a few seconds. Let's go.
Okay. I thought we were doing a death wheel. All right.
A death wheel. That would have been all day. No, 1 spin, 1 winner. Let's go.
Oh man. Oh, this is messed up, Dwayne. Are you sure you want to do it like this?
100%. Otherwise we'll have to turn on the marathon. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. Good luck all in. Here we go. Who do we got? Who is it? Klaus, I think. There he is.
Holy cow. Klaus is the first person to get kicked off the death wheel. That's what I thought. All right. Run it again.
You know what? I honestly want to run it again just to see who else, like who others name. But I know, you know what I feel like with some people who are superstitious. If I roll again just to see what other name pops up, because I have a feeling Jim's going to be next. If whoever is next is going to be like, oh man, I was so close. But no, we're just going to, Klaus is my winner. And I don't know Klaus's in-game name, so I'm not going to be able to send it to him right now. But Klaus, this video is going to be on my channel. I'll put a separate post on of this. And you guys know my Discord, my IGN. My Discord is Infidel1258 or 1258. Those are both my accounts. And Klaus, I don't think he's in time and attention, unless his YouTube name is different than his IGN. This week we'll sort it out, and I'd love to chat too on Discord. Let's have a little like 15-minute or 20-minute conversation, and I'll send you this plot of land. Klaus, hit me up, leave a comment on the channel, on the video, send me a message in Discord. Klaus gets it, guys. And tell me what you want. You want the forest or do you want the mountain? They have different preferences. There's something, I forget how it works exactly, but I think it's like forest has certain splinters that work best on it. Mountain has different splinters that work best on it. And so, let me know what you would prefer. Jim, did you know that they all have different like optimizations that are different?
Yeah. And there's certain ones that are better than others in terms of a higher percentage you can get. So if it's limited to only 2 colors being good on that, you actually get a higher percentage than a land that is good with 3 colors on
That's
it.
right. That's right. So I forget the percentages, but was it like 5% if it had more options and it was like 10% if it had less options, something like that, roughly?
Yeah, I forget exactly what the numbers were,
Yeah.
but
But yeah, that's interesting because if you then have the cards, you want the one that garners more profitability, even though it's less like sort of more restrictive, but you're okay because you have the cards anyways. That's kind
yeah,
of that's optimal from a return perspective.
100%.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about this, about getting into this. I am feeling, I said this before recently, but I'm feeling as though Splinterlands is is taking up more of my time than it ever has, not less.
Hmm.
And that's with the rank experience and the guild brawl and the card management and the content creation. And then on top of it, land is coming, which is going to be its own thing with needing a ton of attention and research. Really, I'm going to need to grow in my understanding of how that works and how to maximize the returns. And okay, which we just talked about how different cards have certain preferences for splinter cards. I don't have any clear idea. I know it's written down, but I don't know which is which. And I need to know that. I can't just willy-nilly just grab 5 good cards and throw them on a plot of land. I need, first of all, I need the
Yeah.
DC and I don't have it. That's a big hurdle I got to figure out. I need probably 1.2 million DC to maximally profit from my land. And I mean to do it. I mean to find a way to fully um deploy my land. I know I don't have to, but I would like to. And as it happens, actually, I am speaking with Gank. You guys know Gank, NFT Gaming and Collectibles, Walking Keys and Gank. Gank has a region of land, and he has invited me to try and join the big region. So I am trying to see what we can do. What that would mean is my plots. I would give my plots of land to him, and he would, give me the, the equivalent of it on his property. And then, like I said earlier, that would allow me to be with people who are, it would consolidate my land, which is important, but two, it would bring me to a place where the people are being really attentive to the game. Because like I said, this is taking more of my time, not less. So I want it to be profitable, maximize the opportunity wrapped up in it. How much land do you got, Jim?
I believe I have 2 or 3 lands.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and man, I'm seeing these keeps be about like 1,700, and it's looking pretty.
Mm. You start getting rent at that point.
Yep,
Let's
yep.
see, legendary.
But at that point, I think it's like after all the rent and stuff, it's essentially like you have 4 lands. If you have the keep, so the rent you're getting is equivalent to 4 lands. So are you better off just having 4 lands? Maybe.
Interesting. I see. This is the problem. We don't know. And then there's probably scale. Like I suspect
Hmm.
it's easier to run one plot than it is to run four. So that's also a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
And then I don't know this, but you could imagine that the rent being generated from a keep or a castle, I would imagine goes up in terms of its US dollar value as like I would think that there's more and more profitability opportunities as the players contributing into land start being more and more serious.
Yeah.
Meaning something like this. And I don't know if this is true. I'm actually I'm almost asking a question from what you know, Jim, but it seems like the keep is going to benefit from the activity of the other 99 plots in that tract. And
Yeah.
and so then if those 99 plots are active because we're in a bull market and they've been bought up, they're being actively farmed and they're being, let's say, maximally farmed, even like with good quality cards, that's
Hmm.
going to be a different profitability for the keep than
Yeah.
a track that is 20 people are kind of playing it, kind of not. And I think
Yeah.
that's a conversation between bull versus bear market. And so the profitability might might be underwhelming now and truly exciting later. I don't know that though. Does that sound like it's the way it's supposed to go? Is that what you're imagining?
Yeah, because it's you get X percentage of um, total resources created.
Mm,
So if people are dropping in higher, if they have bigger PP land,
yep.
right?
Yep.
They have bigger PP, then that means the keep itself is also going to be making more.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, and over time, people could just be like, oh, hey, I have a bunch of lands, but I can only put level fours on it
Hmm.
and slowly progress it,
Yeah.
as time goes on.
Yeah.
But it could also mean your land gets weaker because, well, other other lands are going to be doing that in different regions too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's not just a question of what you put on your land, it's also a question of what your competitors are putting on their land. Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
So if you're proportionally like better represented than the average, then yeah, that makes sense. You'd be getting a bigger slice of the theoretical profitability and pie, right?
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is all stuff that I I kind of understand, but I don't. I need to like get my hands on it and like walk through it so that I can fully. And there's a whole learning curve here. There's a massive learning curve, and this is just land. Again, like I said, this game is taking more of my time, but I also think I'm super excited about the rewards it's offering even now because I'm casting forward into the future what those rewards will be valued at, those soulbounds, those gladiators, the land, the SPS, to a time when they actually carry meaningful value. And then you add to that land 1.5 and the profitability around that. You add to that goals and a Splinter Forge and even Golem Overlord, which I'm still playing those both every day. My Golem, my I'm getting. Let's see here. This is my Splinter Forge, and I don't know about every day, but nearly every day I'm getting in here and I'm finishing off my stamina. It's a lot of work though, but I'm starting to do pretty well. Like, I've got a few teams that I play depending on the different rules, the opponent's structure or whatever, and I do
Hmm.
okay. I do okay, and I have certain equipment that's not too shabby. Is that right? Distance of 3. I've got certain equipment that makes it pretty strong. This battle times 2 is nice because it makes me rip through the stamina that much faster. And I don't usually watch because the UI needs work. Like it's not exactly fun to watch. So the game needs to improve that, and that's me trying to be constructive there. But look at that, it's a 2,200 point win, and that was 60 of my stamina. I get like 78 Electrum, 77 4GM for that one battle. Plus, I get put onto a leaderboard battle for this guy. So then, at the end of this, when he dies, theoretically, I'll earn some leaderboard rewards. Looks like right now I'm nowhere near the leaderboard, but let's see. Look at these guys. I don't know how some of these people do it. When you go recent battles, shout
Hmm.
out to Jeff Opens Cards. I think that's his name. I saw him on here the other day, and he has a like a jacked up hero who just crushes. And I saw him getting like 8,800, 8,900 point damage. And I just did look 2,200. See, this guy did double me. What did he do? He picks the same summoners, but look, and no, his archer is probably just as strong as mine. So somehow he is doubling my damage, and you don't get to see his picks, but clearly he's doing something. He's got some sort of angle that I'm not recognizing.
Hmm.
But anyways, my point is, this is another avenue that I'm paying attention to, and the rewards are relatively trivial. We're talking a few dollars a day worth of, or a few dollars a week worth of 4GM, but I'm going to grind for those dollars, knowing and believing that that value is going to be more than it is today in the future. And same with this. Jim, I don't know how often you've been touching this, but like, check this out. I'm like 8,500 rating.
Yeah. I've been coming back every now and again. I'm like, wow, this dude's fortification's higher than mine. He's put so much more into it.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
it's really just been checking in every day almost. I mean, I have put in, I might have put in, I can't recall exactly, something in the neighborhood of probably $100, maybe $150.
Hmm.
And that's it. And the rest is just my daily production. I claim about 120 part every 8 hours. And
Wow.
and that's, but I've found that the path is not really net the scavenger golems. You do need some of those, but what I find, the scavenger golems just make you like an attractive attack, and
Hmm.
you're essentially a money tree that the enemy can come pluck whenever they want. So
Hmm.
I want a little bit of this because it pumps me up, a certain degree. But when I'm right here at 51 part in my stash or whatever, not my my bank or whatever it's called, um, I'm not very attractive, and most of my opponents who could attack me are not going to attack me with this for this little. But this gets me to a place by the 8 hours, that I'm with 2 or 3 attacks, I can almost fill my pocket,
Yeah.
almost fill my claim. And so that to me seems to be the balance, like getting enough scavenger golems that you're not super attractive from a victim standpoint, but you've given yourself a little bit of a start, and then your battles making your attack strong enough that you can go at some serious, enemies, and then steal from them, 50, 60 part, and drive my collection up to a place where it's nearly full. So I'm trying to get my power into that 40, 50 range, which will be super expensive, and it's a long-term goal. I want my faith to be even higher, because it's like faith can really increase the amount you steal from your opponents. When I have 40 faith, and when I attack somebody who has like 10 or 11, I take all the money. We takes all the money, Lebowski. Have you ever seen The Big Lebowski? We've talked about this 3 different times, but I forget your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have.
we
It has been a little bit now, but yeah, I've seen it.
we takes the money. I can't show it. I wish I could. But we takes the money is like the nihilists, guys. If you've never seen this, you need to see this. I love that Flea was one of the nihilists. Was in like in this movie. Oh my goodness. Jeff Bridges is the gene. Anyways, I've talked about that. We've literally 3 or 4 times, Jim and I brought that up.
Yeah, you see the price on those alpha packs? I think it's time.
Alpha 65, eh? Time to
I
start
think
buying
it's
them.
time.
What do we got here? I could. Let's see. What could I do? Let's do some. Can
You
I
know what?
open
I
some
actually
packs?
think I'm gonna buy one.
Nice. I approve of your decision to buy an alpha pack. I'm gonna open. Let's see. I'm gonna open. Ooh, should I? Hang on. Let's see what the cards are worth. Go over here. So Chaos Legion packs are selling for a buck 30, and the cards inside are a buck 22. Ugh, frustrating, man. Frustrating. But you know what? I want to open some anyways. I'm gonna open a hundy. Do I want 126? Go that way. This is the problem. This is why I won't live to see a time when Chaos Legion packs are worth a lot, because I just cannot resist
Just
opening
keep
them.
open them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Actually, now that the potions are essentially free, I think I have a max Chaos Legion set, like more than. I'm pretty certain. My gold foils won't be maxed, but I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure I've got it. I don't think there's a single card I'm lacking. I could be wrong about that though. Ooh, Test the Wide. I actually think I might be lacking on my Test the Wide. Tusk. Tusk. That's a fun word. So Jim, what are you doing later today?
Um, I don't know if I'm grouping up with Dan, and we're trying to figure out what it is we're going to be doing this week and then next week for content creation.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm just going to talk to him online. I'm going to see if I can do that because Jamie, my sister and I are gonna run over to the mall and try and find a gift for our mom for her birthday coming up
Cool, man.
next week.
That's awesome. Sounds like a good
So,
quality day with like friends and family and doing stuff for other
mhm,
people. That's beautiful. Love it, bud.
mhm.
I'm
So
enjoying this. There's some good little wins in here. Got some gold rares, got some epics. I know that they're not particularly expensive. That's okay.
how much are gold foil quicks going for?
$40, 35,
Gold foil quicks?
50. That's my guess. That's my final offer.
All right, let's see how close you are. All right, you're pretty close. 78 for a single BCX.
78.
Um,
Okay.
but a max copy, ooh, 282. 70 BCX up, or per BCX.
That's such a good card though.
Yeah, it is.
Splinter Coach really like affirms the quality of that card. I don't want to. I want to finish these packs, but I'm really enjoying this app or this website and the let's see summoners. Look at so Kelia is played very often and wins relatively a lot considering how often it gets used. Immortalis so reliable. When it plays, it wins and it plays a lot.
Mm.
Conqueror Yasik actually used to suck, and I tweaked some things and getting a lot more success. Anything around the 500 mark in my mind is going to be, especially if you're playing it this often. Like look at 1,400 battles, and I played Kelly at 200. That's 1 in 7 of my matches I use this card, and this is like 1 in 10 or something like that. 8, 9, 1 in 9. So these cards I'm playing a ton. That means they're way more valuable. Lily Shieldpaw still like an amazing win rate and still a lot of plays. And then look, Quicks higher than 500, a ton of battles. And okay, not as much as like a Kelia, not nearly as much as a Kelia, not even close to as much as a Immortalis, but it's not like the Quicks is barely being played. It's being played as one of my more common summoners, and yet it wins. And Thaddeus too. Thaddeus is like for the cost, he's the best summoner too. For the successfulness of it, and while considering the cost, Thaddeus is for sure the best summoner in the game. But let's keep looking at these guys.
Don't talk about Lux.
Oh, I got a legendary gold foil right there. Oh, another one. Gold foil. Nope.
Close.
Very close.
Aw.
Come on, legendary gold foil. 2 of them though. I'll take it.
Beautiful.
Bok Jira, I love that guy. So good. So good. Grundy. Oh, another one. Got a little legendary pool over here. Yeah.
Really?
Love it. Okay. Oh, another one, dude. Can we? Goldie. Come on. Give me the Goldie. What's going on right now?
Dude, that's so many.
And no gold foils. Come on, dude.
It's still early, though. It's still early. You're halfway.
Dude, that was a lot of heat, though. I feel like that might have been my luck right there. We'll see.
No. You're good. You're good. The next line's going to have a gold foil leg.
It makes me want to race through, though. Like, since I almost got something, like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes me want to just race and see.
All right, I lied. This is gold foil.
Yeah, every gold foil. Deep Lurker, quality. I'm confident that these cards are gonna be super desirable. I think land is gonna drive these prices. I think the future growth of our game. I think when SPS goes up, the player base grows. I think when the player base grows, the price of cards grow. I think the rental revenues grow, and then the prices of cards grow. I'm so optimistic on these assets. And we were talking about SPS earlier and being at 1.6 cents. Interesting, like I alluding to earlier, like, you know, we don't know where the floor is for a token. Either there's no need for it to be 1.6 pennies. It could be 1, it could be half of 1. Like the floor could be a lot farther down. And if you buy now, as you know, you and I have recently done, like, you know, you theoretically you can ride that down like a significant way. And if it gets to 1 penny and I bought it 2, then, you know, I could have doubled my SPS just by waiting. But the thing is, I'd rather be early than late. That's the thing when, for me, like again, if you believe in Splinterlands. 3 of them though. That's awesome.
3, holy cow.
Wow.
Come
Oh, another one,
Come
dude.
on,
Another one.
baby.
Come on, let's
Come
go. Oh, man, this is a lot of legendaries.
Yeah, it is. Come on. We need one, right? We need one?
We really don't, but
No,
but I want one.
We need it.
We need it. Oh, here we go. Come on, come on, please, please. Oh,
Two Lyras.
I know it's it's hard not to be pumped. Like doubles, like it's this is I feel like this is a lot of legendaries. This is only 126 packs.
Okay. All right. If we get
Love it.
burn
love
it. All right. If we get another legendary, you have to wait for the last card to open it. Okay.
Okay. I'd take some epic gold foils even. Here we go. All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the winner. He just wins. Thaddeus Brood. Oh,
All right.
oh,
Okay. Last card. Last card.
oh my goodness! I feel like we've opened we've opened so many legendaries that we've
There's
actually
so many more.
we've actually created like an interesting, you know what I mean? Like there's an increased odds that this is a gold foil because
We still have all of
You-
the other fiends.
you stop.
I mean, yeah. It's it has to be.
It has to be.
It's impossible.
It's impossible not to be. Okay, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Please be artwork I already saw.
Oh,
Oh,
that would have been a good one. That
Yeah.
would have been a good one.
yeah. That was a good quality. That was fun. I'm glad I did that.
Question on your splinter stat thingy. Why didn't I see Lux on there?
Oh, I sold my Lux.
You sold all of them?
I had 3, I think. Did I have 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 originally. I had 2 from being on from going to Splinterfest. And then I bought one lucky enough to raffle one or whatever, get one in the beginning. And then I sold, I feel like I sold one right away or 2 the same day, maybe, like when it launched. And then I carried one and kept one. And of course I love it. But yeah, I needed DEC for the burning, or no, I can't remember what I needed, but it was like recently I did it. And oh, you know what? I needed revenue for our renovation. My family did a massive renovation.
Right. Okay.
That's right. So what's it going for
I
now?
gotcha.
Because I definitely want it. Let's see, Lux. Yeah, I sold it for more than this. A lot more than this. So, you know, it'd be interesting to maybe come in here and snag one. But I don't have the money right now. But the problem is if you take these moments when they're here, you can get some really great prices, like on a card like Lux, or if you go look at like Kitty's been even reasonable. I saw Kitty like below 3 the other day. Like, what's this? A level 3 Kitty would be pretty impressive, and that's only $1,700. I'm not saying that's cheap. It's super expensive. But I mean, that would be really useful to me, and I would have my Kitty again. But of course I don't have the cash for that. And what's Yoden doing with me right now? Let's go. Let's see. Where is it? Yoden. So, $700 for a level 3. That's like, to me, that seems. That's a really good. That seems like a great price to me, to be honest. I know Reflection Shield has made Yoden a lot weaker, but he's still
good.
He still is great. He's not as good as Kitty, but he is a strong summoner. He is one of the best. And this price to me is like, people are just eager to see money in their pockets for different things, whether it's, you know, you want to get more land, or you're trying to get your DEC ready so you can be ready for land, or whether you're like, who knows what's happening that's causing cards like this to sell at these price points. But I would argue he's well worth it.
I love Mimosa.
But then Valnamore is such a beast. And look at this, like, this is for what this card is and for how rare this thing is. There's only 2,800 total BCX of this card, and you can right now buy a max copy for 1,700 bucks. That is, to me, more exciting than a level 3 kitty.
Some would consider him the best summoner in the game.
Those
people would be right.
Yeah, I might be in that camp. Guard Llama kicking around for 1,100 for a max copy. I find him to be quite niche, actually. Like, you have to know. I don't love him. I mean, he's a lot of fun, and when he wins, it can be really annoying because your opponent ends up
win more.
Yeah, it is a win more situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a card I like a lot, and I think it's actually quite meta, actually. Like, the speed reduction, because speed is so important. Hit point reduction, weaken, essentially, is so powerful. And with the Death Splinter in particular, the redemption cheese works really well with Cryptmancer as well as Thaddeus. That's why Thaddeus is good, because the removal of hearts is actually really meaningful.
Immortalist, I kind of like that guy a lot.
So good, actually. I used to think he sucked, actually. It's funny. When this thing launched, I thought, ugh, gross. Yeah. But he's proven to be so good. He is truly one of the... And when Untamed...
maxed out.
When Untamed gets retired from Modern, this guy is going to have even more of kind of a throne on there as one of the best. What were you saying?
I was just saying 160 for a maxed out copy.
Super cheap, man. Super cheap. $160 for a max level summoner that wins a lot and plays frequently. I'm gonna switch away from my video and go no. Hang on a second, because I want to feature a little bit of Splinter. Over here. Bear with me for a second, guys. Boom. There. Now, do I still have audio? Testing. Yep, we're good. And Jim, say something.
Hello. Kay. Testing.
Got you. Okay, so now I don't have my video on. I want to go back to Splinter Coach. And yeah, like yeah, $160 for Immortalis, and it plays, that's 20, I think 140 matches amongst 1,400 matches is 10% of the matches. So I play this card 10% of the times I play the game, and it wins half of the, like, that's really impressive considering I'm playing at the highest levels of champion. Like I'm fighting for, like, I'm never on the leaderboard, but I'm up there. I'm in the 4,000, 4,200. So I'm fighting against the best players in this game, and Immortalis is winning. And so to me, Splinter Coach is telling something really interesting about the power of Immortalis. And when you mentioned a moment ago, that's only $160 for a max copy of that. Like, compare that to some of the rares. I mean, Kelia is, I think, $230 or something. Let's go check. Boom. So Kelia is $1.15. So look, a max copy 100. Okay, so it's cheaper than I thought. I thought it was closer to $2 a BCX, but still, you get a Kelia for like $120 max copy, or you get a legendary for $160, and that $40 is pretty significant. So if it really was between Kelia or, okay, fine, get the Kelia. But I suspect most of you already have Kelia, Chaos Legion being what it is. Maybe you already have Immortalis. But man, Immortalis is worth owning, and if you don't, you should. And yeah, Thaddeus Brood, he is cheaper than Kelia. Brood is at 70 cents a BCX, man. This card is quality. $60 for a max summoner. If I had very little money, I would buy this summoner max level and I would equip it, or maybe not even max level. Maybe I'd buy like the 60 BCX range. So I'm fighting in gold, and I would build myself a really quality gold death deck. And I would start there, and everything else can be, icing on the cake. Yes, you want a dragon. Yes, you want a second splinter or another splinter. You'd want maybe a Lux if you could afford it. But I'm saying you can start here with a quality summoner that wins a lot, and the data shows it. And you can, and I talked previously about how, how I win with this one, and you need to build a certain deck that, you can click on the card here and you can see what it partners well with, and played with this. Look at that. I got a Pegasus in there now, but this is the redemption cheese that I like doing. And, really low mana. This just works, man. It's got a weaken with the Thaddeus. It's got a weaken with, from the Dr. Blight. It's got a weaken with the Undead Priest, and you can get certain critical levels of the Priest, the Slime Ball, the Presence, without having a max copy. And so, plus, if you can afford it, man, Dr. Blight is another, just so good. We talked about this before. Let's see what new. Let's look for a summoner that's overrated from a price point. Look at this. Valdemar wins a lot, but I don't play him
a
lot. So is he worth, $150 a BCX? I would, that is interesting. Hey, like when it works, it wins. But the problem is it doesn't always fit because of mana probably. This is another one, Archmage Arius. I was really surprised to see this data. I know it's a small sample size, but for 6 wins and 11 losses, this is one of the most rare summoners in the game. It's super expensive. It feels like a beast because it's got like the plus, but you often, what I'm realizing is like you either build a magic team or an archery or a melee. You don't usually do monsters that have all three. Sometimes you get monsters like the aggro longtail that have melee and magic, but that's not common exactly. And so, interesting card, massive price point, underwhelming data. It's interesting to see how that can happen sometimes. I think those probably have to be the two serious considerations. It's got to be given that data. You got to either say Valnamor or what's his name, Archmage Arius, are too expensive for what they give you. And I think when you recognize that Archmage Arius is like that win record, and I have great cards, so it's not like my Dragon Summoner is under supported, and the Valnamor, although it is more niche, wins a lot. I think you got to say, like, the most overrated summoner ends up probably being Archmage Arius. Not saying it's of course strong. Where did it go? There you go. It's of course strong. It's just like for what it's cost. Like what this thing is a beast. It costs a fortune. Filter. Like I bet Kitty's cheaper. Look at this. I mean, $12,000 for a max copy because there's only one available. That's how rare we're talking.
Yeah.
Versus, you come in and you buy a max level kitty today if you want for probably $3,000. This one, 6 copies, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, something in the neighborhood of 3,300-ish. You could buy it right now. Yeah, 3,200 right now. So I mean, I enjoy looking at the data this way and understanding, because it's not just which cards win really a lot. It's also like what is overrated, and then maybe if you did have an Archmage Arius, you might use that information to then liquidate and then buy other things. Like what could you do if you could equip like multiple decks with these relatively cheap Chaos Legion summoners that are really powerful, that win a lot? You could start to generate more revenue through your time and attention within the same game. So I'm assuming you can manage to play 20 games a day kind of thing. 24 battles a day. Yeah. Yeah, man. Cool stuff. We'll probably wrap up here in a couple of minutes there, Jim, but let me go back to YouTube. Boom. Guys, before we get to that place, I just want to say again, thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for all your conversation today. Thank you for supporting the channel financially as well as with the content ideas. Ethical Hacks only says SPS price is looking nice and cheap. Too bad I blew most of my money on cards. You know what though? Cards are like a money tree that is going to keep paying, right? Even it's going to garner more SPS. And I think the cards are bottoming, it seems like to me. While SPS, I don't really know. But as you guys know, if you follow the channel, I've been filling my bags with SPS and I will keep filling no matter how low we go. Jim, any thoughts or things you want to say before we wrap up here?
It's been a good time so far. I know it's hard, and but you know what? I still think we're gonna be on the up and up eventually. Just be patient. We talked about how soon that we're gonna be able to stake all the cards on land, and it's gonna be hard to get cards at that point. So just be ready and be patient.
Mm-hmm. My card value. Let's have a peek at this. Boom. Where is it? I want to see bulk. Okay. Need to see the filters. I know that my card value has been shrinking. The other day I looked at it, my owned card assets. Okay, so it's been stable. It was above 40,000 US, and today again it's at nearly 41,000. And I've been tracking this on Twitter, guys. If you don't know, follow me on Twitter. The account is Time and Attention. And I post there about Splinterlands, but other things too. And recently I posted my ongoing tracking of my data. In fact, my card value is up by $200 today. Well, that, you know what though? I just opened those 120 packs. So that probably would have added to it. So the card prices have been relatively stable for me over the last month. And there have been some changes. Some have gone up though. That was interesting. I posted recently about this. And some of my cards have gone down and others have gone up. I'm getting like detailed Excel spreadsheet data on this. Like I'm tracking how much is going up or down every month. And cards like alphas and betas were following. Alphas, betas fell, rewards fell, dice and chaos fell too. Whereas I think Untamed Dice and Rift Watchers went up in price or were stable. So that was interesting to see because some cards are bottoming, it seems. And that's over like 8 weeks or something now. Interesting to see. Like Jim says, reason to be hopeful for, this next phase. I just hope July ends up being more, let's say, things actually become materializing, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for coming to hang out today. And Klaus, I'm going to put a post on YouTube saying, Klaus won. And also, guys, just thank you for hanging out today. Klaus, reach out to me, leave a comment on the video, or reach out to me on Discord. Okay. Bye for now, guys. Have an amazing day.